The phone is already recording when Tiana walks back to their table. She doesn't know that yet. She's carrying 2 drinks on a small tray, moving the way she always moves through Noir Seoul, quiet, straight-backed, eyes forward. The lounge is dim. Soft music underneath everything. The kind of place where people come to be invisible. Seo Yuna watches her coming from across the booth. Phone angled low. Thumb steady. She leans toward Cha Min-suk and says something without moving her lips. He looks at Tiana. Looks back at Yuna. Grins. Tiana sets the first drink down. Yuna shifts her leg under the table, fast, deliberate, and catches Tiana's path just right. The tray tilts hard. Both glasses slide. Tiana's hand shoots out and catches the tray flat before anything hits the table. Clean. No spill. No sound. Dead silence for half a second. Then Yuna bursts out laughing. Cha Min-suk slaps the table. The other 2 in the booth, Park Dae-won and a woman named Jisoo, react differently. Jisoo laughs, but it's half a second late, like she's deciding whether to. Park Dae-won doesn't laugh at all. He picks up his glass and looks somewhere else. Yuna lifts her phone fully now. No more hiding it. Do it again, she says to no one in particular, still laughing, camera pointed straight at Tiana. Oh my god, she can't finish the sentence. She's laughing too hard. Tiana sets the second drink down. Straightens up. She looks at Yuna's phone for exactly 2 seconds, not at Yuna, at the phone, then she picks up her empty tray and walks away. That's it. No words. No reaction. She just walks away. Yuna spins the phone toward herself. Did y'all see that? She has absolutely no personality. Like, 0. She laughs again. This is the funniest thing I've seen all week. She's still recording. She doesn't stop. Across the main floor, one of the older bartenders watches the booth. He doesn't move. He dries the same glass 3 times without realizing it. His eyes stay on the booth. On Tiana's back as she disappears toward the service hall. Then he reaches under the bar. Quietly. Not for a phone. For a small black panel, a direct intercom line that runs to the back office. He presses it once. Holds it. Let's go. That's all. Before we get started, quick question. Are you watching alone or do you have company? And where are you tuning in from tonight? Let us know in the comments below. Welcome to Afro-Korean Confessions TV. Rewind. 8 years ago. Noir Seoul didn't look like this. The velvet was older. The lighting was harsher. The man who ran the door back then was heavier, slower, less careful about who he let in. Tiana had been in Seoul 14 months. She'd come for a translation contract with an NGO, Swahili, French, English, and stayed because the city kept her moving forward in a way that felt necessary at the time. She'd picked up the hostess job at Noir Seoul for the extra income. Nothing more than that. It was a Thursday night when she saw it. She was restocking glasses behind the secondary bar, the one in the corner that nobody used after 10, when 2 men walked into the private room directly across from her. The door didn't close all the way. She wasn't trying to listen. But she heard enough. A name. A meeting time. A location. And then the words, spoken by a voice she didn't recognize. By the time he realizes it's a setup, it'll already be done. Tiana stood very still behind that bar. The door pulled shut. She stood there another 30 seconds. Then she walked to the front, asked the man on the door who was booked in that private room tonight, and he told her without thinking a low-level associate of someone named Kang Min-jae. She didn't know that name. She looked it up later. Understood immediately what it meant. That same night, before her shift ended, she wrote 4 sentences on a piece of paper. Date. Location. Time. It's a setup. She folded it. She gave it to the man on the door and said it needed to reach Kang Min-jae before morning. She didn't sign it. She went home. She didn't sleep. 2 days later, a black car was parked outside her apartment building when she left for work. A man got out. He didn't threaten her. He didn't say much at all. He just said, he wants you to know he received it. That was it. 3 weeks later, she was offered a permanent position at Noir Seoul, better hours, better pay, full security. She took it. She and Kang Min-jae had never been in the same room. But he knew exactly where she was. Every single night. And she knew that he knew. That was the whole thing. That was all of it. 8 years of distance that somehow felt closer than most things Tiana had ever had. She didn't examine it too hard. She just showed up every night and did her job and felt, in some way she couldn't fully name, that she was not completely alone in this city. Until tonight. Now, Tiana is in the service hallway, back against the wall, tray at her side. Not hiding, just standing. Giving herself 10 seconds the way she sometimes does when a table gets difficult. She can still hear them from here. Yuna's laugh carries. She pushes off the wall. Rolls her neck once. Goes back out. The booth is louder now. Yuna has her phone propped against a glass, still recording, doing a running commentary for whoever is watching her live stream. She's doing impressions, walking stiff and blank-faced across the small space in front of the booth, mimicking what she thinks Tiana looks like. Cha Min-suk is losing it. Jisoo is recording on her own phone now. Park Dae-won is sitting with both arms on the table, turned slightly away from the group, looking at the main floor. He sees Tiana coming back. He watches her face. It gives nothing. She walks straight to the table, sets down the next round, collects the empties. Yuna steps directly into her path, not to trip her this time, just to block her, still doing her impression, playing to the cameras. Tiana stops. Waits. Yuna doesn't move for a full 4 seconds. She's grinning at her own phone screen. Tiana goes around her. Left side. Clean. Yuna spins around. Okay, she went around me. Did you see that? She just okay. She's actually kind of hilarious. She's like a little robot. She points the phone directly at Tiana's back. Hey, what's your name? Tiana doesn't answer. She's not going to answer, Cha Min-suk says, delighted. Hey. Yuna's voice sharpens just slightly. I'm talking to you. Tiana turns around. She looks at Yuna, then at the phone, then at Yuna again. Is there something you need? Tiana says. Her voice is flat. Not rude. Just flat. The booth goes quiet for a half second. Then Yuna laughs, louder than before, pitched for the camera. Is there something you need? She repeats, mocking the cadence. Oh my god. She turns the phone on herself. She's so serious. She's like, okay, I need you to smile. Can you smile? Like, once. Tiana looks at her for one more second. Then she turns and walks back to the service hall. Yuna watches her go. The laugh fades a little at the edges. Park Dae-won picks up his drink. Puts it down without drinking. He glances at the camera in the upper corner of the room, the small black eye pointing at their booth from the ceiling. He looks at it for just a moment too long. Yuna posts the clip at 11:22 p.m. No edit. No filter. Just the raw 7 minutes. Tiana catching the tray, walking around Yuna, the is there something you need moment, all of it. Caption, she didn't even react. Skull imagine having zero self-respect. She tosses her phone on the booth seat and reaches for her drink. Cha Min-suk is already sharing it to his own page. Jisoo screenshots the caption and posts it to her story. The whole thing takes about 90 seconds. Then they move on, more drinks ordered, music turned up in their private room, the night accelerating the way it does when a group like this decides it's really starting now. Park Dae-won orders water. He sits back and watches his 3 friends disappear into their phones and their noise, and he has the feeling, quiet, specific, that something about tonight is wrong. He can't locate it exactly. It's not one thing. It's the room. The way the staff moves through it. The way nobody here reacts to anything loudly. The way that bartender in the corner has been facing their booth for the last 40 minutes without appearing to face their booth. He picks up his own phone and opens the clip Yuna just posted. Watches it. He gets to the part where Tiana turns around after Yuna calls her name. Watches her look at the phone. Then at Yuna. Then back at the phone. He pauses it there. She isn't looking at Yuna in that moment. She is looking directly into the lens. And her expression isn't blank the way Yuna keeps saying it is. It isn't nothing. It's something he can't name, too still to be anger, too focused to be indifference. Like she's reading something on the other side of the camera. Like she already knows who's going to watch this. He closes the app. Opens his browser. Types in Noir Soul. Almost nothing comes back. A single line in a business registry. No photos. No reviews. No social presence. No ownership listed publicly. For a place this size, in this district, that is not normal. That is deliberate. He types, Noir Soul owner. Nothing useful. He tries, Noir Soul Ukujong. One result. A forum post. For years old. The username is a string of random numbers. The post is 3 sentences long. Went somewhere I shouldn't have. Made a mistake I shouldn't have made. Don't cause trouble at Noirsoul. No replies. No context. Just those 3 sentences sitting there for 4 years with nobody responding. Park Dae-won reads it twice. He puts his phone face down on the table. In the service hallway, Tiana is on her break. 10 minutes. She's standing near the small staff window that looks out onto the back alley, a slice of Seoul night, a parked delivery bike, yellow streetlight on wet pavement. She has her phone out, but she's not on it. Just holding it. The head of security for Noirsoul, a man named Oh Sung-jin, 40-something, built like he was assembled for exactly this purpose, steps into the hallway. He doesn't make it dramatic. He just stands near her, leans against the opposite wall, arms crossed. You good, he says. I'm fine, Tiana says. He nods. Doesn't move. She glances at him. Sung-jin. I'm fine. I know, he says. I'm just standing here. She almost smiles. Doesn't quite. She looks back out the window. Table 4 is going to get loud, she says. Already is. I mean louder. Sung-jin unfolds his arms. Rolls his jaw once. You want me to move them to a private room? No. She pushes off the wall. I'll handle it. He watches her go back out. Then he takes out his own phone and opens an app, not social media. A direct encrypted line. He types 4 words and sends them. Table 4. Watch it. He doesn't specify who to. He doesn't need to. The clip hits 40,000 views while Yoona is in the bathroom. She sees it when she comes back. Cha Min-suk already turned toward her with that look he gets when numbers are moving fast. She grabs the phone. Reads the view count. Reads the comments. Half of them are laughing with her. The other half are something else, not quite outrage yet, more like unease. Something feels off about this. That woman's face at the end, though. Why does the hostess look like she's the one in control? Yoona scrolls past those. Focuses on the laughing ones. Okay, it's going, she says. She sits down. Picks up her drink. Grins at Cha Min-suk. Told you. 200K before 2, he says. Easy. Jisoo is already filming a follow-up, a talking head piece right there in the booth, retelling the story with embellishments, doing the impression again, performing for a live audience that is now several thousand people and growing. Park Dae-won watches her film. He leans forward. Quietly, so only Yoona hears. Take it down. She looks at him. What? The clip. Take it down. She stares at him for a moment like he said something in a language she doesn't speak. It's at 40,000 views, Dae-won. I know. In like 12 minutes. I know. Take it down. She searches his face for a second. Then she laughs, short, dismissive. You're so paranoid. She turns back to her phone. He sits back. Looks at the bartender in the corner again. The bartender is gone. The clip hits 200,000 views at 11:54 p.m. It has left the original platform by now, screenshotted, clipped, reposted. A K-drama fan account with 800,000 followers reposts it with the caption, the way she looked at that camera at the end. She knew. That post alone pulls 60,000 likes in under an hour. A Black American commentary page gets it, and the comments there are different, sharper, angrier, moving fast. The algorithm is doing what the algorithm does. It found an emotion, and it is pulling that thread as hard as it can. At 11:58 p.m., the clip lands in the feed of a man named Lee Tae-young. He is 24 years old. He works a low-level monitoring job for a private network, scanning Seoul's social media for flagged keywords, flagged locations, anything that requires escalation. Noirsoul is a flagged location. He watches the clip once. Doesn't finish it. Opens his escalation line and types a message. Keeps it short. He was trained to keep it short. Incident at Noirsoul. Staff member on camera. Viral. Flagging for immediate review. He attaches the clip. He sends it to Park Hyun-soo. Park Hyun-soo is in the back seat of a car moving through Mapo when the message arrives. He is in the middle of a phone call. Something about a shipment. Someone who made a mistake with timing. He wraps the call in under a minute. Opens the message. Opens the clip. He watches it with the sound off first. Then again with sound. He gets to the moment Tiana turns and looks into the camera. He stops the clip. Sits with it for a second. His face doesn't shift, it almost never does. But his jaw tightens once, barely visible, before he locks it back down. He types one word back to Lee Tae-young, confirmed. Then he calls Kang Min-jae. Kang Min-jae picks up on the second ring. He is not asleep. He is at his desk in his penthouse, jacket off, collar open, working through something on his laptop. The kind of work that doesn't stop because the clock moved past midnight. Boss, Hyun-soo says. There's something you need to see. Min-jae closes the laptop. Send it. The clip arrives. He opens it. Watches it once all the way through. No expression. When it ends, he doesn't replay it. He sets the phone down on the desk and looks at the wall for a moment. Just a moment. Then he picks the phone back up. Where is she now? Still on shift, Hyun-soo says. Sung-jin confirmed she's fine. Min-jae is quiet for 3 seconds. The people who posted it. I'm already pulling them. Everything. I want to know everything about them before 1 a.m. Yes, boss. Hyun-soo. Yeah. A beat. Min-jae's voice drops just slightly, not softer exactly, but different. The way a door sounds when it closes all the way instead of just most of the way. She doesn't find out. Hyun-soo doesn't hesitate. She won't. The call ends. Min-jae stands up from the desk. Walks to the floor-to-ceiling window. Seoul is below him. All of it. Every light. Every moving car. Every person who thinks the night is just a night. He stands there for a long time. He doesn't look angry. He looks like a man who has already made a decision and is simply waiting for the world to catch up to it. Park Hyun-soo works the way water works, finding every crack, moving through every gap, leaving nothing dry. By 12:11 a.m. he has all 4 names. Full legal names, not just handles. He has addresses, not just current ones, the last 3 for each of them. He has phone numbers, family contacts, management agency details, brand partnership rosters, contract renewal dates, and the name of every person who signs their checks. He builds the file the way he builds everything clean, fast, without commentary. He sends it to Min-jae at 12:14 a.m. with nothing attached. No message. No summary. Just the file. Min-jae opens it at his desk. Reads it the way he reads everything once, all the way through. Nothing skipped. He doesn't highlight. Doesn't take notes. When he finishes, he closes it and sits for a moment with both hands flat on the desk. Then he picks up the phone and makes 2 calls. The first is to a man named Baek Junho, director of the largest influencer talent agency in Korea. The call lasts 80 seconds. Min-jae speaks for maybe 30 of those. His voice is the same temperature it always is. Not threatening. Just clear. The kind of clear that doesn't require threatening. When he hangs up, Baek Junho sits at his desk for a full minute without moving. Then he opens his laptop and starts typing. The second call is to a woman named Shin Era, senior account manager at the ad network that handles 3 of the 4 influencers' primary sponsorships. That call lasts 60 seconds. When it ends, she walks out of her home office, into her kitchen, pours herself a glass of water, drinks the whole thing standing at the sink, then goes back to her desk and starts making her own calls. Min-jae puts the phone down. That's it. That's all he does. Back at Noir Seoul, the night is still moving. The influencers have migrated into one of the private karaoke rooms, louder now, more drinks. The kind of second wind that hits a group like this around midnight when the original plan of the evening has already succeeded and everything after feels like bonus time. Yoona is on her 3rd live stream of the night. She's recapping the clip for new viewers who are just finding her page, doing the impression again, this time more exaggerated, building it out into a full bit. The live viewer count sits at 11,000. Comments moving too fast to read individually. Tiana is not in the room. She is on the main floor, finishing her side work, rolling silverware, restocking napkins, the quiet end-of-night tasks that need doing regardless of what table 4 is up to. She works with her earpiece out. She doesn't want to hear the music from their room. Oh Sung-jin passes her on his way to the back. He slows down when he reaches her. Doesn't stop fully. Just slows. Hyun-soo called, he says quietly, not looking at her. Tiana keeps rolling silverware. Okay, just wanted you to know. I heard you. He moves on. She sets down a finished roll. Picks up the next one. Her hands are steady. Her face is still. But she stares at the silverware for a moment, not at anything specific, just at it, before she keeps going. She knows what that means. Hyun-soo calling Sung-jin means Min-jae knows. Minjae knowing means something is already in motion that she has no visibility into and no control over. She finishes the roll, puts it in the bin, picks up the next one. 12:31 a.m. Cha Min-suk's phone does something it has never done before. He's mid-sentence, telling a story about a brand trip to Jeju, something that happened with a rental car, when his screen goes black. Not off. Black. Like it's on, but showing nothing. He taps it. Nothing. Holds the power button. The Apple logo appears, disappears, appears again. Boots back up slow. He holds it up. My phone just died and restarted itself. Mine's been weird too, Jisoo says. She's not that concerned. She's 3 drinks in. Yuna glances at hers. Fine. She goes back to the live stream. Cha Min-suk opens his sponsored dashboard, a habit, checking numbers before bed. The page loads. He reads it. Reads it again. 3 campaigns. All 3 showing the same status. Partnership under review, activity paused. He sits forward. Hey. He turns the screen toward Yuna. You see this? She looks at it. That's weird. All 3 at the same time? Glitch maybe. All 3 brands at the same time is not a glitch, Yuna. She looks at it again. Then she shrugs. She's still on the live stream, one eye on the comment feed. Call them in the morning. He stares at the screen. Refreshes. Same status. Same 3 brands. He exits the app. Opens it again. Same. He puts the phone down and picks up his drink and doesn't say anything else. But he doesn't drink it. Park Dae-won is the only one who hasn't ordered anything new since midnight. He's been nursing the same drink for an hour. Sitting slightly apart from the group. Not enough that anyone's noticed. Just enough. He's been on his phone in a way that looks like scrolling, but isn't. He's been searching. He found the forum post an hour ago. Read it. Moved on to other searches. Now he's reading a 3-year-old article, buried, partial, no byline, about a private security network operating out of several high-end Seoul establishments. The article doesn't name names. It doesn't get specific. It was clearly written by someone who understood exactly how much they could say before saying it became dangerous. But it references a lounge in Apgujeong. Unnamed. He looks up from his phone. Looks at the room around him, the karaoke setup, his 3 friends, the half-empty bottles on the table. He stands up. I'm going to get some air, he says. Nobody really hears him. He walks out of the private room, through the main floor, quieter now, most tables cleared, and toward the exit. As he passes the main bar, he slows down slightly. The bartender from earlier, the one who was watching their booth, is back. Different position. Still there. Park Dae-won looks at him. The bartender looks back. Neutral. Professional. Dae-won pushes through the exit door into the Seoul night. Cold air. Quiet street. The man on the door, the one who was there when they arrived, is still there. Same position. Like he hasn't moved in 3 hours. Dae-won walks a few steps down the street. Takes out his phone. Calls Yuna. She picks up in 4 seconds. He can hear the karaoke in the background. Where'd you go? Outside. Yuna, I need you to take down the clip. Silence for a second. Then, Dae-won. It's at what, 300,000 now? 340. Take it down. Why are you? Because I've been sitting here for the last hour trying to find information about this place and there is nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing. A lounge this size, this location, nothing online. And that forum post. What forum post? He stops walking. Lowers his voice. Take the clip down, Yuna. Right now. Tell Min-suk to take his down too. A long pause. The karaoke gets louder in the background. Yuna has moved away from the group to hear him better. You're scaring me, she says. And for the first time tonight her voice sounds like someone who can actually be scared. Good, Dae-won says. Take it down. Yuna walks back into the private room. She looks at Cha Min-suk. Something in her face has shifted, not panic, but the thing that comes right before panic when a smart person realizes they made a mistake. Take yours down, she says. He looks up. What? The clip. Take it down. He stares at her. It's at 340,000. Min-suk. Her voice is flat. Take it down. Something in her tone lands. He picks up his phone. Opens his page. His account is gone. Not the clip. The whole account. The page that has existed for 6 years and built 3 million followers is returning a 404 error. Does not exist. Never existed. He refreshes. Same. He closes the app and reopens it. Tries to log in. Invalid credentials. He tries his backup email. Invalid. He tries the reset option. No account found. He looks up at Yuna. She is already on her own phone, pulling up her page. It's still there. The clip is still there. 341,000 views. She hits delete on the clip. Confirm. It disappears. She pulls up her live stream, still running, 9,000 viewers. She ends it. Then she sits down. Jisoo, who has been watching all of this, says quietly, "What is happening?" Nobody answers her. If you've made it this far, you already know this story is different. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling us what you think is about to happen, and if you haven't subscribed to Afro-Korean Confessions TV yet, do it now. You do not want to miss what's coming. Park Hyun-soo gets the notification at 12:47 a.m. The clip is down from Yuna's page. Down from Cha Min-suk's, though that one didn't require deleting. He reads the report from his monitoring team with the same face he reads everything. Makes a note. Sends one message to Min-jae. They pulled it. Too late. Min-jae reads it at his desk. Doesn't respond. Hyun-soo takes that as confirmation to continue. The hotel is a 40-floor glass tower in Gangnam, the kind of place that costs enough per night that the people staying there stop thinking about money entirely. The influencers booked the penthouse suite 3 days ago for a content weekend. Marble floors. Floor-to-ceiling windows. A terrace that looks out over the entire city. They get back at 1:09 a.m. Nobody talks much in the elevator. Park Dae-won is already inside when they arrive. He came back from outside, collected his jacket from the private room, and left Noir Seoul without ceremony 20 minutes before the others. He's sitting on the couch in the suite with his jacket still on when they walk in. Yuna drops her bag on the kitchen counter. Cha Min-suk goes straight to the window. Jisoo kicks off her heels and sits on the floor with her back against the couch. Not dramatic, just tired. The specific exhaustion of a night that went somewhere unexpected. Nobody turns on music. Nobody orders room service. The suite is very quiet for a place this expensive. Cha Min-suk is still on his phone at the window. Still trying. His management company's emergency line has been ringing for 20 minutes with no answer. His lawyer's personal number went to voicemail twice. He tries his agency's main account rep, a woman who is always, without exception, picked up within 3 rings. Voicemail. He lowers the phone. Looks out at the city. Someone talk to me, he says. His voice is different from what it's been all night. Smaller. Yuna is on her laptop at the kitchen counter. She has 3 browser tabs open, her analytics page, her agency portal, her email. Her analytics are still intact. Her agency portal is loading slow. Her email has 4 new messages from the last 2 hours, all from brand contacts, all with subject lines that use the word urgent. She opens the first one. Reads it. Closes the laptop. Yuna. Cha Min-suk turns from the window. What did it say? She doesn't answer immediately. She puts both hands flat on the counter. Looks at the closed laptop. They're pausing the campaign, she says. All of it. Pending review. Which brand? All of them. Jisoo looks up from the floor. Cha Min-suk turns back to the window. This is because of the clip. Obviously it's because of the clip. But how? It's been 2 hours. It's almost 1 a.m. Who is calling brand managers at 1 a.m.? Nobody has an answer for that. Park Dae-won stands up from the couch. He walks to the window and stands beside Cha Min-suk, both of them looking out at the city, 40 floors up, Seoul spreading in every direction below them. He has been quiet since they got back. He has been thinking. Min-suk, he says. Your account. Gone. Yeah. Not suspended. Gone. I know. 6 years. 3 million followers. Gone in, he stops. That's not what angry people on the internet do. That's not a boycott. That's not mass reporting. Mass reporting gets you suspended pending review. What happened to your account is someone going directly to the platform infrastructure and... Day 1. Min-suk's voice is tight. I know. Do you know what kind of access that requires? Silence. Do you know whose name would have to be attached to a request like that for it to happen in under 2 hours at midnight? More silence. Longer this time. Jisoo pulls her knees to her chest on the floor. Yuna opens her laptop again. Goes to the email. Opens the second urgent message, this one from her primary management contact, a woman she has worked with for 4 years. She reads it. Her face doesn't collapse. She is too controlled for that. But something behind her eyes goes very flat. They're dropping me, she says. What? My management. They're terminating the contract. She reads further. Effective immediately. They cite, she stops. Reads the specific language. Reputational risk incompatible with current client roster. She closes the email. Opens the third one. Reads it. Closes it. That's 2 brands. In one email? In 1 hour. Cha Min-suk turns from the window. He looks at Park Dae-won. Dae-won looks back at him. Between them is the understanding that this is no longer about a viral clip and public outrage. This is something organized. Something that knew exactly where to push and pushed there first. The knock comes at 1:33 a.m. 3 knocks. Unhurried. Like whoever is on the other side has all the time in the world. Yoona and Cha Min-suk look at each other. Jisoo stands up from the floor. Park Dae-won walks to the door. He looks through the peephole. Hotel staff. Young man in uniform. Holding a small tray, a sealed envelope on it, nothing else. No food. No drinks. Just the envelope. Dae-won opens the door. Good evening, the staff member says. Polite. Completely normal. Delivery for the suite. From who? I was just asked to bring it up, sir. I don't have that information. Dae-won takes the envelope. The staff member nods and walks back to the elevator. Normal pace. Like this is a normal night. Dae-won closes the door. The other 3 are watching him. He looks at the envelope. Plain. White. No name on the front. No hotel logo. He turns it over. Sealed. Nothing written on the back either. He opens it. Inside is a single photograph. Printed clean, high resolution, not a phone screenshot, a proper print. He pulls it out and looks at it, and the room goes very still around him. It's all 4 of them. Inside Noir Seoul. Sitting in their booth. The angle is from above and to the left, a camera position none of them noticed, covering the booth completely. Every face visible. Clear. Time-stamped in the bottom right corner, 23:07. 5 minutes after they sat down. Before the clip. Before any of it. Dae-won flips it over. Nothing on the back. He checks the envelope again. Empty. He holds the photograph out so the others can see it. Yoona takes it. Looks at it for a long time. She finds herself in it, her own face, mid-laugh at something Cha Min-suk said before any of the Tiana business started. She looks at the camera angle. Tries to remember seeing a camera in that position. She can't. They were watching us before we did anything, she says. They watch everyone, Park Dae-won says. That's the point. Jisoo has her hand over her mouth. Not crying. Just holding herself very still. Cha Min-suk takes the photograph from Yoona. Studies it. There's no note. No demand. No, he looks up. What does this mean? What do they want? Park Dae-won walks to the window. Below, on the street in front of the hotel, 3 black cars are parked in a line. Engines off. Spaced evenly. Nobody getting out. Nobody moving. Just sitting there in the amber streetlight like they were always going to be there. He watches them for a moment. Dae-won. Yoona's voice from behind him. What do they want? He doesn't turn around. I don't think they want anything, he says. Then why? Because people who want things ask for them. He puts one hand on the glass. Cold against his palm. People who are sending a message don't need to ask for anything. The cars don't move. The suite is completely silent except for the sound of the city 40 floors below, distant, indifferent, ongoing. Yoona walks to the window and stands beside Dae-won. She looks down at the 3 black cars. Looks for a long time. Her arms cross over her chest, not a pose, just the body doing what it does when it gets cold from the inside. That woman, she says quietly. Dae-won looks at her. At the lounge. Yoona's eyes stay on the street below. She looked at my camera before I pressed record. He waits. I thought she was just. Yoona stops. Starts again. She looked directly at the lens. Before I even had it up. Like she was looking at whoever was going to watch it. She pauses. Like she knew. Park Dae-won looks back down at the black cars. Maybe she did, he says. Tiana finishes her shift at 2 a.m. She does what she always does at close, wipes down her section, checks the silverware bins, turns off the lights in the secondary bar area. The lounge is empty now. Just the cleaning crew moving through the main floor and Oh Sung-jin doing his final walk of the building. She gets her jacket from the staff room, pulls it on, checks her phone, 3 messages from her sister in Atlanta, 1 from a friend about weekend plans. Normal. She types back a quick response to her sister. Pockets the phone. Sung-jin is waiting at the staff exit when she gets there. He does this sometimes, not every night, but on nights he decides to without explaining why. He's holding 2 coffees from the machine in the back office. Hands her one. She takes it. You don't have to do this. I know, he says. They stand there for a moment in the narrow hallway, drinking bad coffee. The cleaning crew's equipment hums in the distance. How bad is it? She says. Sung-jin looks at the wall across from him. Handled. That's not what I asked. He takes a slow drink. Sets the cup down on the edge of a shelf. The clip was at 400,000 before they pulled it. It's been screenshot and reposted about 800 times across different platforms. By morning the reposts will probably hit 1 million combined. He says it straight. No softening. He knows she doesn't want it softened. Their accounts are being managed. Sponsors are already pulling. Management dropped the main one. Tiana listens. Her coffee cup is in both hands. She doesn't drink from it again. And the cars, she says. Sung-jin pauses. Just briefly. You saw them. I see everything in this building, Sung-jin. He nods slowly. 3. Outside the hotel they went back to. She is quiet for a moment. Nobody's going in? No. Just sitting there. Just sitting there. She processes that. Looks at the floor. Then she says quietly, not accusatory, just direct, he's too much sometimes. Sung-jin almost smiles. Yeah, I don't need. I know what you're going to say. Then you know I mean it. I know you mean it, he says. Doesn't change anything. She looks at him. He looks back. Between them is 8 years of this, of her trying to exist normally inside something that will not let her be entirely normal, and him being the person who stands in the middle of that without making it worse. She finishes her coffee. Sets the cup down. I'm going home. Car's waiting. I'll take the subway. Tiana. Sung-jin. I'll take the subway. She pulls her jacket tighter. I need 20 minutes of normal. He holds her gaze for 1 more second. Then he steps aside. She pushes through the exit door into the Seoul night. The subway is half empty at this hour. Late night workers. A group of university students at the far end of the car loud, not maliciously, just young. A man in a convenience store uniform asleep against the window. Tiana finds a seat. Puts her bag on her lap. Looks at her own reflection in the dark window across from her, the train moving through the underground, her face overlaid on the black tunnel rushing past. She thinks about the moment Yuna's leg came out. Not with anger. She moved past anger somewhere around the 3rd time Yuna called her name. What she thinks about now is the specific feeling of standing there, in that lounge, in that uniform, in that city, and choosing, again, the same thing she always chooses. Stillness. Control. Not because she is afraid of what happens if she doesn't choose it, but because she has learned, over a long time, that stillness is not the same as weakness, and that some rooms are not worth the version of yourself you'd have to become to win them loudly. She knew Min-jae would see it. She knew that the moment Yuna lifted that phone. Not because she expected him to act. She never expects that. She never lets herself expect that, but because she knows he watches. She has always known he watches. It is the one thing about their arrangement she has never been able to decide how she feels about. She pulls out her phone, opens her contacts, scrolls to a number saved under no name, just a single dash. She looks at it for a moment, puts the phone away. The train pulls into her station. For 17 a.m. The penthouse suite is wrecked in the quiet way expensive rooms get wrecked, nothing broken, just everything slightly wrong. Bottles on the wrong surfaces. Couch cushions moved. The photograph sitting on the kitchen counter where someone put it down and nobody picked it back up. Jisoo is asleep in one of the bedrooms. She checked out around 3 a.m., not dramatically, just ran out of the capacity to stay awake and frightened simultaneously. Cha Min-suk is on the couch. He hasn't slept. He has been on his phone for 3 hours trying to access his account through every possible route. Every route is closed. He has emailed the platform's creator support twice. No response. He has called his lawyer 3 more times. Voicemail each time. He has gone online and looked up his own name and found, on the first page of results, 14 separate articles, published in the last 3 hours about the clip. About him specifically. His name in the headlines, not Yuna's. The framing is not kind. He puts the phone face down on his chest. Stares at the ceiling. He is not the kind of person who cries easily, but his eyes are doing something right now that is adjacent to it, not tears, just the pressure behind them that means something is trying to get out and he isn't letting it. 6 years. He built that account over 6 years. The first year he posted every day and got almost nothing. The second year, he found his format. Third year he broke through. Fourth, fifth, sixth, each one bigger, more stable, more real. Brand deals that paid his rent, then his lifestyle, then his family's debts. A career that existed because he put it there piece by piece. Gone in 2 hours. Because of 7 minutes in a karaoke lounge. He turns his head and looks at Yuna across the room. Yuna hasn't moved from the window in over an hour. She's sitting on the floor with her back against the glass, knees up, arms around them, looking at the suite from the inside. The photograph is on the counter 15 feet away. She hasn't touched it since Day-One put it down. Park Day-One fell asleep in the armchair around 3:30. He's the only one who managed it, not peacefully, his head at a bad angle, jacket still on. But asleep. Yuna looks at him, then at Minsuk on the couch, then at the photograph on the counter. She gets up, walks to the counter, picks it up, looks at it again. She finds Tiana in the frame, not the focus of the shot, just present in it, moving past the edge of the booth in the background. Even in a photograph, from a distance, there is something about the way she carries herself that is distinct. The straightness of it. The deliberateness. Yuna thinks about the moment at the table when Tiana went around her. Not through her, not past her aggressively, just around. Clean and quiet and completely unbothered in a way that, in the moment, read as blankness. It doesn't read that way now. Now it reads like someone who knew exactly where she was standing and chose, very carefully, not to stand anywhere else. Yuna sets the photograph back down. She walks to the window. Looks down at the street. The cars are still there. 5 hours. Those cars have been sitting on that street for 5 hours. No one has come up. No one has called. No demands. No contact of any kind. Just the photograph delivered once, quietly, and then nothing. Just the waiting. She presses her forehead against the cold glass. Minsuk, she says. He turns his head from the couch. That woman. Yuna's voice is flat. Not emotional, past emotional, into something quieter and more final. She wasn't a random hostess. He looks at her. She's connected to whoever is doing this. Yuna keeps her forehead on the glass. She has to be. A random hostess doesn't bring 3 black cars to your hotel at 1 a.m. We don't know that she looked at my camera before I pressed record, Minsuk. Yuna lifts her head. Turns around. I've been thinking about it for 5 hours, and that is the one thing I keep coming back to. She looked at the lens before I had it up. Like she already knew someone was going to watch it, and she wanted them to see her face. She stops. Something moves across her expression. Like she was talking to someone specific. The suite is very quiet. Cha Minsuk sits up slowly on the couch. Puts his feet on the floor. Picks up the photograph from the counter where Yuna left it. Looks at it. Looks at Tiana in the background. Looks at the timestamp. 23:07. 5 minutes after they sat down. Who is she, he says. Nobody answers. Because nobody knows. Because that is exactly the problem. A woman who works a late shift in a karaoke lounge and goes home on the subway and has no social media presence and no public profile and no traceable connection to anything. And yet 5 hours after a viral clip, she is somehow at the center of something that has dismantled 3 careers, erased 1 account, sent a photograph to a penthouse at 1 a.m., and parked 3 black cars on a street that they cannot leave without walking past. Park Day-One opens his eyes in the armchair. He looks at the ceiling for a moment. Then he says, without sitting up, we're not going to find out who she is. Minsuk looks at him. People like that, Day-One sits up slowly, rolls his neck. They're not findable. That's the whole point. He looks at the window. At Yuna still standing against it. The question isn't who she is. Then what's the question? Yuna says. He looks at the photograph in Minsuk's hand. The question is what comes next, he says. And whether we have any say in it. The suite goes quiet again. Outside, on the street below, the 3 black cars sit exactly where they have been sitting for 5 hours. Waiting. You've been locked in this whole time, we see you. Before batch 6 drops, hit that like button right now, leave a comment telling us what you think those cars mean, and subscribe to Afro-Korean Confessions TV if you haven't yet. The final batch is about to change everything. 5:41 a.m. Seoul starts before the sun does. Delivery trucks. Bakeries. The first subway trains cutting through the underground. The city reassembling itself the way it does every morning, quietly at first, then all at once. The penthouse suite is gray with early light. Nobody has slept properly except Jisoo, who is still in the bedroom with the door closed. Yoona is back on the floor against the window. Cha Min-suk is at the kitchen counter, both hands around a glass of water. He is not drunk. Park Dae-won is at the table, phone face up, watching it. The black cars are still outside. They have been there 6 hours and 20 minutes. At 5:49 a.m. Park Hyun-soo gets out of the lead car. Not all the way. He opens the door and stands beside it, one hand on the roof, looking up at the tower. He's on the phone. The call is short. He gets back in. In the penthouse, Cha Min-suk watches this from the window. Someone got out, he says. Yoona is up in a second. Dae-won too. The 3 of them at the glass, 40 floors up, looking down at the street. He got back in, Dae-won says. Who is that? Nobody knows. Yoona's phone rings. All 3 of them look at it on the counter. Unknown number. Korean prefix, but not one she recognizes. It rings 4 times. She picks it up. Yes. Miss Seo. The voice is male. Calm. Professional in the way that has nothing to do with being polite. My name is Park Hyun-soo. I represent a private interest that has been monitoring the situation involving your content from last evening. Yoona's hand tightens on the phone. She puts it on speaker. Sets it on the counter. What situation? The recording made at Noir Seoul. The subsequent posts. The live stream. A brief pause. All of it. Cha Min-suk and Park Dae-won move closer to the counter. What do you want? Yoona says. Nothing, Hyun-soo says. Everything that needed to happen has already happened. I'm calling to make sure you understand that clearly. Not as a threat. As information. Everything that needed to, she stops. Starts again. You destroyed our careers. You made a choice last night, Hyun-soo says. Several choices. What followed was a consequence of those choices. I want to make sure there's no confusion about that distinction. Silence in the suite. The woman at the lounge, Yoona says. Her voice is controlled, but underneath it something is fracturing. Who is she? A pause on the line. Longer than the others. Someone who matters, Hyun-soo says. That's all you need to know. She's connected to you. To whoever you work for. She is protected, Hyun-soo says. The word lands differently from everything else he has said. Not corporate. Not procedural. Personal in a way that cuts right through the professional tone. Completely. And permanently. That's also all you need to know. Park Dae-won looks at the phone on the counter. The cars, he says. Are they leaving? A brief pause. Yes. When? Now. Dae-won walks to the window. Below, all 3 black cars start their engines simultaneously. Smooth. Unhurried. They pull out from the curb in sequence, the first, then the second, then the third, and move into the early morning Seoul traffic. No urgency. No drama. Like they were always planning to leave at exactly this moment, and everything went exactly according to plan. Because it did. Yoona watches them go. She is still holding the phone to her ear even though Hyun-soo has already ended the call. She doesn't notice for a moment. Then she lowers it. Puts it on the counter. The suite is very quiet. It's over. Jisoo says from the bedroom doorway. She's been standing there, nobody noticed her come out. Nobody answers her. Because it is and it isn't. The cars are gone. No one is coming up. No further action is coming. Yoona understands that now, understands that if further action were coming it would already be here. But Cha Min-suk's account is still gone. Her management contract is still terminated. The brand deals are still paused, and she knows, with the specific clarity that comes from 6 hours of sitting with a thing, that paused means gone. You don't get those back. Not after this. Not with this attached to your name. She picks up the photograph from the counter. Looks at Tiana in the background. Someone who matters. She sets it face down. Kang Min-jae is still at his desk when Hyun-soo calls to confirm. He hasn't slept. He doesn't sleep much on nights when things are in motion, not from anxiety, just from the particular alertness that running something at this level requires. He's been working through other things. The business doesn't stop because one night required his attention in a different direction. He picks up on the first ring. It's done, Hyun-soo says. Min-jae leans back in his chair. First time he's moved from the desk in hours. The call. Made. She understands. They all do. The file. Sealed. Nothing leads back. Min-jae is quiet for a moment. Outside his window Seoul is turning gold at the edges, the specific gold of a city that has been up all night becoming a city that is just waking up. He watches it. Tiana, he says. Home safe. Sung-jin confirmed at 2:30. Min-jae nods to himself. One slow nod. He stands up from the desk. Walks to the window. The city below him is the same city it always is, indifferent, enormous, moving forward without explanation or apology. She's going to know something happened, he says. She already knows, Hyun-soo says. She always knows. Min-jae looks at the city for a long moment. And she didn't call. No. That lands somewhere. He doesn't show it. He almost never shows anything. But it lands. The fact that she knew and didn't call. Not because she doesn't care. Because she does, and she's choosing to let him do this the only way he knows how to do it, and she's choosing not to make it complicated, and that restraint from her, that particular kind of trust that isn't trust exactly, but is something adjacent to it. Something harder, is the thing that has always undone him in the specific quiet way that nothing else in his life can. He puts one hand flat on the cold glass of the window. She needs to keep working there, he says. Same shift. Same everything. Nothing changes for her. Of course. Nobody approaches her. Nobody mentions this. Already understood. Hyun-soo. Yeah, boss. A long pause. Min-jae watching the city go gold. She stayed when she didn't have to. He says it quietly. Not to Hyun-soo exactly. Just out loud. Like he's been holding it for 8 years, and this particular morning it needed air. 8 years ago. She stayed. Hyun-soo is quiet on the other end. I know, he says. Min-jae takes his hand off the glass. Go home, he says. Get some sleep. He ends the call. He stands at the window alone. Seoul fully waking now, sound rising from the streets below, light hitting the towers around him, the city doing what it does. He watches it for a while. Then he walks to his desk. Opens his laptop. Goes back to work. 7:15 a.m. Tiana walks into Noir Seoul through the staff entrance. Morning shift is different from nights, brighter, quieter, the lounge smelling of cleaning product and fresh coffee instead of perfume and liquor. A few staff members are already in. The day bartender. 2 servers. The kitchen running prep in the back. She hangs up her jacket. Ties her hair back. Puts on her apron. Oh Sung-jin is at the end of the bar with a coffee and a tablet, going through the day's reservations. He looks up when she comes in. She looks at him. He looks at her. She nods once, small, specific. He nods back. That's it. That's the whole conversation. She picks up her section checklist and starts her opening work. Table checks. Condiment levels. Candle replacements. The same things she checks every morning she opens. Her hands move through it from memory, steady and sure, the rhythm of a woman who knows exactly where she is and has decided that is enough. She gets to the booth in the far corner. The large one. She straightens the chairs. They're slightly off from where they should be, the way they always are after a late night. She wipes the table down. Checks the seats. She pauses. On the floor just under the edge of the booth, small, easy to miss, is a single long stem match. The kind they used to light the candles. Probably knocked off the table during last night's service. She picks it up. Turns it over in her fingers. She thinks about last night. Not with anger. Not with satisfaction either. Just thinks about it. The way she thinks about things that happen in this place, in this city, in this particular life she built for herself here. She has never been able to decide if she chose Noir Seoul or if Noir Seoul chose her. She has never been able to decide what exactly she and Kang Min-jae are to each other, not because it's unclear, but because naming it would require one of them to say it out loud, and neither of them has done that. Maybe neither of them can. Maybe that's fine. Maybe some things exist fully without ever being named. She puts the match in her apron pocket. straightens the last chair, moves to the next table. 3 floors below the penthouse, in a hotel business center that opens at 7 a.m., Park Dae-won sits at a computer terminal. He pulls up a browser, types in Noir Seoul. Same results as last night. Almost nothing. The single business registry line. No photos. No reviews. He sits back. He opens a new tab. Types something different this time. Kong Min-jae. The results load. He looks at the screen for a long moment. Reads without moving. His face goes through something, not fear exactly, though fear is part of it. More like the specific feeling of a man who has been standing in a room without understanding what room it is and has just figured it out. He closes the browser. Sits there in the empty business center with the hum of the computers around him. Then he takes out his phone. Opens a new note. Types 4 words. Leave Seoul. Tell no one. He stares at it. Deletes it. Puts the phone away. Stands up. He is halfway to the elevator when his phone rings. He looks at the screen. Unknown number. Same Korean prefix as the call to Unit 2 hours ago. He stops walking. Stands in the middle of the hotel lobby, morning guests moving around him, a family checking out at the front desk, a concierge on the phone. Normal morning. Normal world. His phone rings again. He looks at it. Answers. Silence on the line for 2 seconds. Then a voice he has not heard before, lower than Hyun-soo's, quieter, the kind of quiet that does not need volume to fill a room. Mr. Park. Dae-won's joy tightens. Yes. You searched my name this morning. Everything in Park Dae-won goes completely still. He stops. Starts again. Yes. Good, the voice says. Then you understand. A pause. There's one more thing I need you to understand. Dae-won doesn't speak. He is standing in the middle of a hotel lobby at 7 a.m., and he has never in his life felt this specific kind of exposure. Not physical, nothing like that. Something deeper. The feeling of being seen completely by someone you cannot see at all. The woman at the lounge, the voice says. Her name is Tiana Hayes. She goes to work every night. She comes home every morning. She lives her life. A pause. Precise. Deliberate. If I ever have reason to say her name in connection with any of you again. He doesn't finish the sentence. He doesn't need to. The line goes dead. Park Dae-won stands in the lobby with the phone at his ear for 5 full seconds after the call ends. Then he lowers it. Slides it into his pocket. Walks to the elevator. Presses the button. The doors open. He gets in. Stands there as the elevator rises. His reflection in the mirrored doors looks back at him, jacket wrinkled from sleeping in it, eyes that have been open all night, the face of a man who went to a karaoke lounge at 11 p.m. and came out the other side of something he does not have language for yet. The elevator reaches the penthouse floor. The doors open. He doesn't get out. He stands there while the doors stay open. Looks at the hallway. At the suite door at the end of it. Then the doors close. The elevator starts moving. Down. Noir Seoul. 8:03 a.m. The morning light comes through the front windows at a low angle, different from the night, warmer, catching the dust in the air and the crystal of the glasses on the back shelf. The lounge looks different in the morning. Less dangerous. More honest, somehow. Tiana is at the secondary bar, counting inventory. Moving through the bottles methodically, marking her clipboard, the quiet work of maintaining a place that will fill up again tonight and do this all over again. Her phone is on the bar beside the clipboard. Face up. It lights up. A message. The contact saved as a single dash. She looks at it. Are you working tonight? 4 words. That's it. She stares at the screen. Her hand stays on the clipboard. She reads it again, not because she needs to read it again, but because it is the first direct message from that number in 8 years, and she needs a moment with that before she does anything else. She picks up the phone. Types back, I'm always here. She puts the phone down. Goes back to the inventory. 15 seconds later the phone lights up again. She looks at it. I know. I'll be there at 9. Tiana goes completely still. Not scared. Not excited. Something quieter and more complicated than either of those. Something that has been sitting in her chest for 8 years, waiting for a reason to become real. She looks at the message. Looks at the lounge around her, the morning light, the empty booths, the place she has come to every night for 8 years and never once thought of as anything other than work. She looks at the message again. I'll be there at 9. Her hand moves to her apron pocket. She finds the match she picked up from the floor. Runs her thumb along it once. Then she picks up her phone. Types one word. Okay. Sends it. Puts the phone face down on the bar. Goes back to the inventory. But her hand is not quite steady on the clipboard anymore. And for the first time in a very long time, in this city, in this lounge, in this life she built from a piece of paper and 4 sentences and a choice she made one night 8 years ago, Tiana Hayes is not sure what happens next. And she is not afraid of that. That's the end, but it's not over. Kong Min-jae walks into Noir Seoul at 9 tonight. Tiana is behind that bar. 8 years of distance. 1 room. No more messages. What happens when 2 people who have been circling each other across 8 years finally run out of space between them? We'll see. If this story got you, and we think it did, hit that like button right now. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think happens at 9 o'clock. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us if you saw this ending coming. And if you are not yet subscribed to Afro-Korean Confessions TV, this is your sign. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Because the next story is already coming and it hits harder than this one. We'll see you there.